So how's that early bird looking?
Yeah, Mikey, it's looking really good. I'm really pleased with where we're at so far, and I appreciate it's been a slightly indifferent performance level since we announced the campaign back in January, but really pleased with the quantity of fans that have committed for next season so far, which as of this morning was 10,000. And if you compare that to where we were last year, at the actual deadline, early bird deadline itself, we were at 10,000. So we've still got another week to go. We've got circa 5,000 or so fans that have yet to renew out of this season's season ticket pool. So yeah, I'm really pleased with where we're at, and I'm really confident that we'll be in a very strong position when we get to next week's deadline in order to kick on positively for the end of May.
It seems like there's quite a substantial number of new season ticket holders signing up.
Yeah, there is, and again, that's really encouraging for a couple of reasons. We obviously rely on a huge amount of our existing season ticket base to renew, and a lot of them do, but over 20% of the season ticket numbers for next season are new applicants, and that was a huge part of why we were trying to do this, and the incentive and the initiative around this is to get new people into the stadium. And as I say, over 20% of the numbers that have committed for next year are people that aren't currently season ticket holders for this year. So it's really encouraging that people are clearly wanting to come back, and converting and bringing in new fans and new season ticket holders for next year over the next couple of months is going to be vital to ensuring that we get to this target of 16,500. And as I've said before, genuinely nothing would give me greater pleasure than activating that and smashing it and going through that target.
Nothing gives you great pleasure than giving money back.
Yeah, in this instance, yeah, it would genuinely, because if we're reaching that, then it's because the fans and everyone have sort of followed the idea and really want to make that commitment and really want to get behind the team for next year. Absolutely.
And a large part of Raised by Wolves has been about not just new fans but young fans, and we saw the ticket prices to get young supporters in. Has that gone down well as well?
It has so far, yeah, and we're on, of the total season ticket numbers for next year, our junior fans represent about 20% of that. So again, to give you an idea, last year junior ticket holders were about 14%, so we're already registering about a 6% increase year on year, which is really positive. And I'd probably just be saying to parents or friends now, now is the time. There's never been a better time, a more affordable time, in order to try and introduce young fans to Wolves and to get them to experience that Molyneux matchday experience. So long may that continue, and again, if that's a number that increases between now and the end of May, then I'll be absolutely thrilled, and that will be one of the other key objectives of why we're doing this. It will have been met.
So there's not long left of early birds, so I guess the message is, if you're thinking about it, get it done now.
Absolutely. I'd encourage fans that are currently sat on the fence and wondering whether they should make that commitment for next year to do that. As I say, I appreciate our form's been a bit inconsistent since we announced the campaign, but I think what we've seen in the last couple of games has been more of a true reflection of where I think this squad can go and the ability within the team. I'm extremely hopeful that we'll continue that form now for the rest of the season, hopefully, and beyond. So yeah, the message is now just get behind the team, and you can see that we're performing extremely well in the ticket sales, and there's clearly an ambition from a lot of the fans to want to get behind them and want to come and support them next year.
And it's not just tickets for next season, there are also ticket offers for remaining games this season, because we're stood in front of this important stand. You want to see the stand full, and all the stands full. Yeah,
without question. And since we launched the campaign, we've announced, in total 3 ticketing initiatives, which were really designed to support what we're doing around Raised by Wolves. So we did the half-price ticket initiative for Birmingham, which from an attendance point of view was extremely well received, and was pretty much the biggest matchday attendance we've had so far this year, outside of Chelsea in the FA Cup. And we've now launched 2 other initiatives around Nottingham Forest and Brighton and Hove over Easter weekend. And again, they're both designed with 2 different sort of objectives in mind. One's around season ticket holders, so season ticket holders bringing friends and family who don't normally come to games at a very reasonable price. And then the Brighton game is again aimed at your match-to-match attendees, again around bringing a group of people in that really want to try and experience this fantastic stadium as full as it possibly can be, with again a view to saying, right, you can experience this regularly, match to match, as a season ticket holder at a really cost-effective price from next year.
Because it's always a key thing, isn't it? Because people always say, you know, you're doing this for season ticket holders and giving the options. What about those who can't always make it to every single game? You are looking into those options like this to try and do something for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And once we get through the process of getting our season ticket campaign completed for next year, then we'll be looking at, right, well, how can we ensure, because yeah, you're right, whether it's work or family or whatever, not every single person can come to Molineux based around the principle of a season ticket. So we know again that we've got other initiatives that we're going to have to look at and develop as we go into next season. So in due course we'll be talking about, well, how can we really help support those occasional fans that, as I say, they may want to be here every single game, but it's just not physically possible. But what can we do to then fill up the rest of that stadium on a regular basis?
When they are here, there's some pretty exciting stuff that I know you've talked about a bit in Fans Parliament that you've got to announce to better improve the experience when they are inside the stadium.
Yeah, we've been looking at our match day offering now for quite a while, and like many of our fans, I travel on the road to all of our away games, and not only are we there to support the team, obviously, but I'm taking a look around and seeing, you know, how other clubs are doing it. And I think, if we're being completely honest, Mikey, we've probably, in more recent times, I think we've fallen a bit behind the curve in how we deliver our match day entertainment and our match day experience. So I'm pleased to say that at the last board meeting, I sought the approval from the board and from the owners to make some significant investment into this great stadium and what we can do here on a match day. So from next season, we will have 2 brand new digital video screens in situ, which will mean that we can deliver huge amounts of content into our fans on a match day, and it will give us a much better platform by which we can encourage fans to get here earlier and experience a really, really positive, vibrant, lively match day experience from literally pre-kick-off, during the game and after the game itself.
So screens and potentially a bit more for this stand behind you as well.
Well, firstly, on the screens itself, it would be somewhat pointless if we made all that investment into the visual elements of the stadium. So coupled with what we're going to be investing in the screens, we're also going to be investing in PA upgrade, so our public address system becomes compatible with the quality of entertainment that we want to provide. So that's really important as well. And yeah, again, not just for next season, but we're engaging fans now, as we did at last week's Fans Parliament, around what can we do in order to give a really vibrant, lively atmosphere in Molineux, so that the players have got the very best platform in order to perform. So we're looking at dropping some other piloting some key initiatives between now and the end of the season, which will again give the fans a great opportunity to get behind and support their team. So we addressed the Fans Parliament last week around wood flags and wood banners that really represented the club's rich history and culture, and if we produce those and we hand them over to the fans in order to wave and we'd look after those on a weekly basis, and I'd be more than happy to make that investment, and that's been well received. So that's something that we're looking at doing with immediate effect. So again, it starts to really build that sense of pride and identity and belonging within the stadium.
Because it's not like you're ignoring the other stands. They're important. People who sit anywhere are important. But this stand in particular, we all know, and Paul Lambert's spoken about it a lot, the noise that can be generated from here can make such a difference.
Yeah, it really can. And I think there's a couple of things there. The key thing is that we want that noise to be at its absolute loudest pre-match. And we've got some work to do. That's not necessarily the responsibility of Paul and the team at that point. That's for me and my team in order to build that anticipation. And this stand is clearly one of the key stands within that. But we want that vibrancy to echo around the whole stadium. I don't really want this to become a one-stand stadium. So again, we're looking at other initiatives that would broaden beyond this particular stand. One of those is that when we renewed with Carling last year, they said they'd work closely with us around fan-based initiatives. So from next year, we're going to be opening the Carling Fan Zone, which will be situated in the North Stand, which again will be an inviting area, which will be where fans can come pre-game. There'll be bigger TVs, it'll be a warmer environment, there'll be entertainment. We're working closely with Carling around some of their other network of pubs in the area. So again, it'll be an area where we'll hopefully be able to promote up-and-coming musicians, comedians, who are all fans of course, but really want to get themselves down here support the Wolves, but give again our fans a much more engaging experience in terms of from being here on a match day.
Overall then, I mean, I say it's not often we get to come down here and experience the kind of views, and whilst there's no atmosphere today because no one's in, on a match day you can imagine what this is like, looking out on that pitch and seeing some of the stuff that hopefully we're going to start to see performances coming on the pitch. Are you confident that everything is going to be moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I am, and obviously to reiterate that everything has to be the foundation of everything we do has to start from the playing side of things. So we know that we've got to get that consistency level right, and we know we've got to continue to invest in the squad as best as we can. So that bit is an absolute given. But everything else that we do around that has to be as professional and as well executed as we can be. And I think with the level of investment that we'll start to make now, between now and during the summer, then I think, yeah, and if we can really continue in terms of the positive nature of our season ticket take up for next year, then yeah, I think this place could be absolutely cracking. And I think I actually quite like being in here when there's no one in it, because you almost without a single sound in here, you almost get a sense of that atmosphere, even on a day like this. So when it's absolutely full and it's jumping and the noise levels are huge and high, then I think, yeah, we can hopefully go on to achieve great things next season. And certainly from my point of view, I made it my priority to do everything I could in order to give the team the right level of support, give them the best atmosphere in order to perform in. We're starting to look at that between now and the end of the year. We've got 6 home games between now and the end of the season. I want the atmosphere in here to be as absolutely loud and vibrant as it can be. Paul knows exactly what he and the team need to do in order to help deliver that, but going into next season I think we'll be in a positive place.